When before making the movie, suddenly one day my son asked me, Father, tell me in which way our country is the richest in the world. I was trying to rack up my brain. Maybe we had gold mines or silver mines or diamond mines or something. No, no, he said, we are rich in stories. Our culture is rich in stories. No culture can boast the stories we have with us. Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad, Ashtas, Puranas. So much of history. So he said, this culture we will take across the world. We'll make the world realize how rich our country is. So whatever story we make in any movie from the beginning, from the first movie of Rajamouli, my journey with him, you can see the references of our Puranas in all the characters. We get there's very heavy influence of all those mythological characters in our stories.
Yeah.
We never want to compromise with that, our culture.
Well said, Mr. Prasad. And do you think there are many such stories yet to be told to Indian audiences?
Many more.
Yeah. And are those the kind of stories that you would want Indian filmmakers to maybe focus on?
Yes, we should concentrate on our culture.
Yeah. And tell us.
You see, seeing the fantastic response we are getting from America, they don't know anything about culture, but because our culture is so rich, they are appreciating it. We have not made any compromises for Western to get the Western markets.
Yeah. So you also wear many hats. You're also a parliamentarian yourself in the Rajya Sabha. Now, I want to ask you, what can we do to take original Indian cinema to the next level? I mean, the kind of reception that we've seen, especially for Indian music, Indian cinema making, for Indian art at the Oscars this time, right? So I think it's perhaps a turning point for Indian cinema to take it to the next level. What more can India do?
Nothing. I want to recollect one interview Rajmouli had with Mr. Spielberg recently. That is what he gave, Stick to your Indian culture. Don't compromise, don't ape any Western thing. It's wonderful. It's a treasure trove you have. Stick to it.
Stick to Indian culture. Is that, and tell us a little bit more about, because today is a special day, I'm trying to stretch my conversation with you as much as possible. Tell us a little bit about the making of this movie. When you wrote the script, what was on your mind? When you wrote the script, how was it received? And give us a few anecdotes of making of this movie, sir.
Yeah, at the very beginning, my son had this stipulation. I want to make a movie with two heroes. He named the people also. Ram Charan and NTR, because he worked with both of them, he has got a very good rapport with them. So there will not be any ego clashes. Both of them, they trust the director. So what are the instructions? I mean, what are guidelines we followed is, let us stick to the story. In a particular scene, one character has to rise, let us raise him. Because other person is a star, let us not compromise. We shall trust the story and we shall follow our heart rather than the dictates of the image of the heroes. Throughout, we are faithful to it.
Yeah. And give us a few anecdotes from the movie, sir, because, we've been speaking to many of the junior artists, someone, who played small roles. And today, when they spoke to Republic in the morning, because they were the ones who we could speak to, because they were in India, they were so excited. And, the one thing they said was the attention to detail that Rajamouli, sir, your son, gave to every scene, every dialogue to this particular movie.
Most moving thing was throughout the movie. You see, as a writer, from time to time, he keeps on calling me to watch the rushes. The interval sequence, where we know, as a story writer, I know what is going to happen. Of course, it's going to be a happy ending, but in spite of it, two good friends fighting with each other, every time used to bring tears to my eyes. It's a very, very rare thing. When two persons are fighting with each other, you'll be siding with one person or the other person. But here's not the case. You love both the people. It's like a mother watching. If a mother watches two sons fighting among themselves, she will not appreciate this son is fighting better, not son better. She wants it to stop. but it won't stop. So every time, I think at least I might have watched about 20 to 30 times that sequence. Every time, it never failed to bring tears to my eyes. And second thing, that the Komaram Bhimudo song,
Yes.
how many times I watched, I don't know. But every time I used to wince. I know perfectly well. It's only, I mean, he's acting. Nothing is hitting him. But
Yes.
his portrayal so realistic, so realistic. I used to wince at the torture he's undergoing.
Yeah. So, Mr. Prasad, you know, in the making of this movie, the story, the script, you know, somewhere I read this, you know, I felt very sad today and I didn't want to raise this with you. But I will just pull this up and I will tell you what some people are trying to do. And I don't want to make it a controversy today, but I want to get your perspective on the story. You know, there is this website, and its headline reads, "What amazes me most," and this is perhaps the only site I have seen which is sort of not happy about what has happened today, while the rest of us are celebrating. They say that history is distorted in the story of RRR. How do you respond to people like this today?
Have you ever seen a bride being decorated? When a bride is decorated,
Yes.
the beautiful mascara,
Yes, yes,
lipstick,
of course.
everything and everything.
Of course.
And last they put a black spot
Correct.
for Nazar. Bara
Correct.
Nazar ke liye.
Yes, yes.
Let us
Drishti.
take it like that.
Drishti.
Yes. Yes. Let us take it like that.
Okay. No, that's why I didn't want to bring it up, but I just feel so sad. But we're really proud, Mr. Vijayendra Prasad. I think, my last question to you.
No. There's a two-way of interpretation. It's
Yeah.
not distorting. You
Yeah.
have taken liberty.
Yeah.
Have you seen Inglourious Bastards?
Yes, yes, of course. Of course.
Where patriots, they killed the Hitler.
Yes.
Do you call distort? No, it's called parallel history.
Yes.
You see, distortion means when you play the repetition of the character, it's called distortion.
Yes.
It's not distortion. We have glorified the characters. You see, what we want to see, we are not worried about what exactly happened in the life of Sitaram Razu or Komaram Bhim.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, they show the role models for the youth, for the sacrifice, for the grit, for the commitment towards the country.
Yeah.
We want to set role models through the characters.
Correct.
That's our aim. I think we succeed a little.
Yeah. And did you speak to Mr. Rajamouli? What? I mean, a lot must be going on in the minds of Mr. Rajamouli, Mr. Keeravani, everyone who you've known so closely.
Yes,
I mean,
I spoke to him on the phone.
yes.
There's a laughter in his. There's a small